Normality of distribution refers to your population being symmetric with no skewness or kurtosis. When it's symmetric like this, it means that your mean, median, and mode are in the middle of your distribution, and your standard deviations allow for 68% of the information or the data points to fall within plus or minus 1 standard deviation, 95% of your data to fall in between plus or minus 2 standard deviations, and lastly, 99.7% of your data fall in between plus or minus 3 standard deviations. With normality, there are a lot of things that you can do to check it, but one of the main things are skewness and kurtosis. Kurtosis referring to how flat or steep the distribution is, and skewness referring to if the distribution leans any which way. So with kurtosis, because that's how flat or steep the curve is, that you can either be, your distribution can either be leptokurtotic, which means that too many of the data points are in the middle of the distribution. So with this graphic, with the kangaroo, it shows that too many of the data points are in the middle, centered around the mean, but there aren't enough data points that are spread out across the entire distribution. At the same time, your distribution can be platykurtotic, which means that it's too fat, or there's not a normal distribution because all of your data points are spread out too much across the entire distribution.
You make the clever wordplay, Plato. That's a platypus, by the way.
Oh, platypus. Platypuses are poisonous, so a platykurtotic distribution is poisonous.
It will kill you.
Yeah. Well, so this is basically what they would look like. So we could use the normal distribution curve to show no skew, but then the skewness denotes whether the mean of your graph is too far to the left or too far to the right. So if you have a positive skew, that means that the tail of the distribution skews off to the right side of the graph, so that your mean of your distribution is too far over to the left in the negative. And then it's converse with a negative skew. The tail of the distribution ranges too far over to the left, like rather into the negative numbers, so the median or mean is really too far to the right. So when your distribution is normal, you may have a few outliers or not. You'll want to check for that, but generally the assumption of normality is reasonably robust, meaning that you can have a few violations, such as a few outliers, and your distribution won't be too messed up by that. If you find that the mean is not in the middle, then there's a lot of things that you can do, like transformations. You can take the natural log or the square root of all the numbers or square all the numbers. But generally that's not really needed because normality is a reasonably robust assumption.